Welcome to the Power of Love show, sponsored by the D.D. Jackson Foundation, where we're here to provide hope, resources, and a community so no one feels alone in their grief. We believe that through the power of love, that nothing is impossible with love on your side. I'm TJ Jackson. On the other end of the table is my brother Taj Jackson.
What's up, T?
And before we get into our conversation with this guy in the middle, we have to remind everyone that we are not licensed therapists. We are just ordinary people who've experienced loss in our lives. We've been impacted by it and we have learned from it. And what we like to do here on the Power of Love show is share our opinions in an attempt to help you get through whatever it is you are going through. Saying that, if you need help, we urge you to seek professional help. Please, please, please do not just rely on us.
Yes.
Now, we have a special show today, Taj, because this is the first time we're not doing a live show.
Yeah.
Out of how many shows have we done? Over 200 and
Special occasion.
250 shows. This is one we had to do. We didn't do it on a Wednesday. We're here on the Sunday for our Halloween event, Thriller Night. And this guy sitting in between us is an amazing person. Now, I'm going to read his bio. His name, everyone, is Alexx Alexxander. He's a Norwegian award-winning illusionist that performs all around the world with spectacular performances. He is the only illusionist in history to have been honored with the award Best Performing Global Talent by Seed Form Global, and one of the few musicians in the world that have been... What did I say?
Musician.
Because I'm a musician.
I know.
Okay.
I'm going to call you out.
Okay, that's what my brother does. He is one of the few magicians in the world that have been granted the most prestigious award in magic. That is the Merlin Award.
Oh.
And not only has he won it once, but twice. In
See?
2022, he was also appointed Illusionist of the Decade. That's unreal. Really, that's unreal. With a 24-karat gold statue. The award is to magic what the Oscar is to the movie industry.
Nice.
I know, I almost said music again. That's what happens when you're a musician. He performs original illusions in his own unique way that will leave you spellbound and take your breath away. So, Alexx, I have to say, today, just a couple hours ago, I had the honor to see you do your thing. And I was blown away.
Yeah.
I was blown away. I don't want to give up or explain exactly what you do. I don't know how you do what you do, but I don't want to explain what I've seen in case... I think everyone needs to see it the first time on their own with their own eyes. But my first question to you is, how did you get into magic?
Well, first of all, that intro was mind-blowing. Wow. Thanks, TJ. When I was a kid, I was that loner. I was that kid in the corner. And I was not very popular. And I stayed pretty much by myself. But I always loved to perform. I could go out and perform, you know. I didn't have any... I was not scared at all.
Wow.
Big events or whatever. I could just...
Go. You felt comfortable.
Comfortable. It's my spot. It's my place. And my comfort zone. And when I got a magic book from my grandfather, I was 5 years old. And I liked that because that was something I could do all by myself. So I could sit in my room and work with my fingers, watch the mirror, and see that I can become better and better. Practicing, work on it, and when I show my classmates, they said, "Wow, how did you do that?
This is cool."
And I became popular.
Yeah, of course.
For at least a couple of minutes. So it's inspired me my entire life, and it started there as a very young boy, and it became my entire life actually. So I had my first paid show at the age of 10, and I charged it something like, I don't remember, $50 bucks, something like that, and that was a lot of money back then. Yeah. So I recently
Up to price.
I increased
We
it
hope so.
a little bit.
Yes.
Now it's up to, I don't know, 17 or something like that.
Love it.
But it's been an amazing ride.
Yeah.
I started my company when I was 14 years old.
Wow. How was that?
Yeah, it was different because I was underage, and of course I didn't have my driver's license.
Yeah.
So my family was always there to support me, and especially my mom. She was my biggest critic, but also my best friend.
Yeah.
And so my family was always there, helping me, traveling with me. And my siblings, when they arrived, one by one, they were starting to traveling with me.
How many siblings you have?
We are 4.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 boys, 2 girls.
So
I'm the oldest one.
So you're like him. He's the oldest brother of us. It's 3 of
Why
us.
we get along so well.
But one thing I have to say is, as I learn more about you and your story, there's a lot of parallels and similarities to our story.
Yeah.
You know, we grew up with a family of entertaining, and in our case, it's music.
Yeah.
And you know, similar thing. It was our family that got us into music.
Yeah.
And then, you know, on a sadder note, we had a tragic loss in our mother, which was devastating. It was really incredibly difficult. I was a young kid, and my brothers were obviously, both of my older brothers were also young. And you experienced a very difficult tragedy as well.
Yeah.
My question to you is, for us, we had Uncle Michael.
Yeah.
He was so important and other family members as well and other friends, but he was, for me at least, very instrumental on me getting back on track and doing what I love, in this case, music. I'm so curious to know, who was that for you, or what is it that got you back to doing something you love?
Well, for me, magic really saved my life. Since the beginning, since I was that little kid, because it gave me my self-esteem, that I could do what I believed in. And so I did. And because of my family that was always there, like yours, always so supportive, always by my side, and traveling together. So when that tragedy hit us in 2005, I was 21 at that time. And well, what happened was, and I feel like I need to tell a little bit just about the backstory.
We're here for you.
Because back to when I started the company, when I was 14, because since I didn't have a driver's license, my father, because I had a lot of shows going on. I was getting quite popular back in Norway. Thank you. So it was a lot of fun. And as a family, we talked about, okay, what can we do? How can we do this? And it started to become a business. So my father suggested that he should quit his job. He worked at a fabric, making ropes for the shipping industry, and they just wanted to support me. So he quit his job and became my full-time driver.
Wow. That's an amazing story.
And my mom did all the accounting stuff, all the bookings. And so we really did all of this together.
Yeah.
And when we traveled if I have a gig, let's say at a hotel somewhere or a big venue up in the mountains or so on, a resort, I always travel with my family and with my siblings. So I maybe perform 1 or 2 nights, but we stay there for the entire week, and we get the place to pay for it all, because they paid for everything, for travels and for our food and our stay. So and that's what we did. So, and it's just been, when I was 16, I quit school and I started to do this full time. So that's why I never had another job. This has been it. Magic really saved my life. And hopefully, what I hope is to inspire others as well. that they can do it too. Not magic in particular, but whatever. Their dream. What they, if they have something they struggle with, try to find that thing. And back to when we lost our mom, that was really tragic. And but I held on to my thing. That was magic and performing. Which I love to do, and that really kept me going. And
I have a question for you, Alex. Was it because you had a passion why you still stuck with magic, or was it the fantasy and the imagination that magic brings that kept you in magic? What do you think?
Both. I believe in magic. Magic is all around us, and Mother Nature is magic. Love is magical, and what we do on this earth, and we have to do something meaningful, and that's why I believe in magic.
Nice.
It's as simple as that. So and to give back. And that's why you guys inspired me so much, and the entire Jackson family. Always been about giving back, doing something for society, for the less fortunate, and that's really inspiring.
How long will you do magic for?
Oh, I haven't set a date yet.
Good answer.
I think it's the same with music or in show business in general. I think you never quit unless you want to. You can do it, when your entire life.
Any kids, Alex?
And you always get better, right? The more you do it, the better you get. So any kids? No, I haven't had the time yet, TJ.
You go straight to the kids. Like any kids?
We're
not gonna ease them into it.
give you a kid.
But I could be Uncle Alex when I come down there.
Well, I wanted to know: is it something that you would encourage your kids to follow? Like, what would you tell to the young magician out there who everyone doesn't believe in or doesn't believe it's a good career choice? What would Alexx Alexxander say to that kid?
I want to add to that.
Yes.
Because you told us that you did get that support from your family. So to add to that, what would you tell that young kid that doesn't have that support? Now you're going to be that support for them. You're going to tell them what you would say.
Well, if it doesn't have to be magic, it can be whatever that person wants, and you can be whatever you like. But you have to fight. You have to work on it and never give up. It's a hard struggle sometimes, but you have to stick with it and just never let go. Believe in that. Have that hope. It's right in front of you, and you always reach for that thing, and and just never let go. So, and I don't think it's. I think even if it's whatever it is, whatever business or hobby or something that, as you said, TJ, passion. I like that word. Something that you are passionate about. And it doesn't have to be a work thing. It can be a hobby. It can be just something that really gives you something. And so by doing it, it makes you happy, and hopefully someone else as well.
Good.
So our show is about loss and grief, and you mentioned how you had a significant life-changing loss at 21. Did you ever consider not continuing with your magic or your passion? Ever? Did it ever occur to you that I don't want to do this? And if so, for that person out there who's experiencing the similar thing, doesn't have to be magic, it could be painting, it could be writing, what would you tell that person who may be finding themselves in a lost state or not knowing where to go?
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say this, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, it's fine.
Because I truly respect you, Alex, not just for continuing on, but for being as great as you are. There's two different things. You can continue on and practice and have fun with it, but decide not to do it at the level you're doing it. And I commend you for breaking through it and doing it. That's inspirational. Forget the magic and all that.
Yeah.
That's inspirational for people out there who are dealing with that. Because I remember going through a mental phase of not knowing if there was too much trauma to do that. So I'm curious to know, did you ever consider stopping? And if in either way, what advice would you give to someone who feels a bit lost?
It's a good question. I like that. And you're right. There was right after the accident, there was one point where I thought, okay, what am I going to do now? But then I gave a couple of days thought. And I thought, I have lost enough. I won't lose this as well. So I just became like
revelation.
Yeah, kind of revelation. Yeah, it just came to me. You know what? I've lost enough. I won't lose this too. So that's why I kept on going. But yeah, there was a couple of days there. I wondered, okay, what am I going to do now? And I don't know if I have a good answer or advice to people out there. But that's a difficult one to have. But yeah.
Whether you know it or not, you're inspirational. You know, and because we get told that the same way. You know, we lost our mother at a very young age, and people who also went through a significant loss, they look at us in a way of, I could do it too. I could be that, you know, because for some reason people don't think the Jacksons experience loss or everything's got to be perfect for their Jacksons, but we're not. You know, we're humans first, and that means we lose, we hurt, we have pain, and when people realize that, it means a lot to them. They can relate to it. And I feel that's the same way for you, whether you know it or not. That's the same for you.
Thank you.
So I commend you.
Yeah.
I commend you.
I think for me too, like just because I was right around 21 too. I think I was 21. I just turned 21 when my mom had passed because she died late in August and my birthday's August 4th. But it is that hard thing, especially if they're like your main cheerleader in that way. As my mom was with us with our music, she was the one that made sure we rehearsed. You know, she was harder on us than our dad was when it came to doing music and rehearsing in that way. And she was our manager at the same time. And so losing her was like losing, I always say this, like my compass, like direction of like as you said, what do I do now in that way? And so, you know, as TJ said, we do commend you because there is that time where you don't know what to do, but you have to power through. And I loved how you said, I've lost enough, you know, in that way. It's very powerful in that. And I think other people, the hardest thing is that sometimes when you're great like you are, it looks easy. You know, they don't see the long hours, the thousands of hours that you put into, as you said, that kid that was in the mirror, you know, practicing magic and stuff like that. And there's a lot of commitment in there. And I know that with whatever you're doing, whether it's winning awards or whatever, you know, it's just, you're setting an example for everyone. So it's great in that way. And I saw the kids faces for the Halloween night, for the Thriller party. And it was amazing just seeing their faces. There's something magical about magic, and you know that.
Oh yes,
yeah.
Oh, yes.
And we were talking how you were happy about that too.
Yeah.
You want to tell us a little more in that?
Oh, it was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Yes, and to be able to do that for these kids, and I have to say, to get to know you guys after these days, and to be here together with so many members of the Jackson family, I feel what you feel with my family.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
It is.
and yeah. So and you, all of you, have been so kind and welcoming with open arms. So I feel so welcome here, and so thank you guys.
You are more. You know what it is too. I think, you know, we were raised to be open armed and loving to everyone, you know, no matter where you're from. But I think there's a connection, obviously because of the loss, but also because of the art and the magic sometimes we can give to others by working with our craft. And that's beauty. That's really, really powerful. Now you said, and then he repeated a phrase that's my son. Yeah, Rhea, I'm recording, bud. So you got to go outside. But you said, and Taj repeated a very powerful phrase when you said I had lost enough. Um, that is so powerful because, in my opinion, when you go through anything, you can go two ways. You can bury yourself. You can get depressed. You can get lost, or you can. And I'm not going to say it's as easy to just choose. I don't want to give that impression, but or you can, you know, give your time to grieve, but then somehow find a way to find that ability to redirect that into something positive and constructive. And I'd mentioned this earlier in our talk that my Uncle Michael played a huge role for us because our mother was murdered. It still causes me some trauma because of how I found out in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
But it was for his direction of inspiring us to redirect that, you know, and put that power into your craft, into your music. That was powerful. So I appreciate you saying it in your way. I had lost enough. That's something that resonates with me, and hopefully it resonates with everyone. I want to know what is next for you, Alex. It seems like you have dominated and done so much great stuff.
And I was reading some of those things.
Are you going to turn into a superhero? What's next for Alex?
Well, it's so much going on, and now we can travel again after COVID and everything, and it's just been so good, you know. I'm doing what I love. I get to perform every night, and visiting theaters and concert halls all around. So hopefully I will come over here to America very soon. That's the goal.
All right.
So
I like that goal.
Yeah.
You know, let me ask you this: is there a place you like to perform the most?
Well, I'm not sure. Life has just given me opportunities, or maybe I have brought them.
Yeah,
but you know,
maybe
I created them, or manifested them. But yeah, just I have just followed the next thing. Okay, suddenly it was, for example, Vegas. Suddenly it was Europe. Suddenly it was, and I just follow wherever it takes me. Yeah, and now I'm here with you guys, so performing for these kids as we just talked about, and that was just an amazing experience, and it feels so. Just to be able to give something back in that way, that's really powerful.
Very powerful.
Yeah,
and you did an amazing thing for our foundation, for Heal LA, and our foundation, D.D. Jackson Foundation. So again, thank you.
Yeah.
Because today's day is the Sunday Kids Day. And, you know, we bring a lot of kids from inner cities and difficult, you know, challenging areas where they come from and who are going through a lot of things. And to be able to give them a day of escape where they could just be kids and laugh and smile and wander. And it's a very powerful thing. And we've done this, I think this is our 6th year doing the event in person. And we've always had, you know, music and candy and games, but this is the first time we've had a magician.
Yeah.
And you brought a whole nother level to it that is very powerful. So really, thank you.
Yeah.
But I think it's a universal language. Magic is a universal language. Same with music. Right?
Yeah.
So because it doesn't matter what language you speak, what the color of your skin, whatever. It doesn't matter. You know, it reaches out to you, and you're getting dragged into it. You know, and. I just love that. It's something you can do anywhere, right?
I have another question, and this is really a question that you probably should have thought of, but
all right,
I'll believe it when I see it.
Sure.
But I'm gonna ask it for you, Taj. He was the oldest brother.
Yeah.
So when we lost our mother, he always talks about how. Were you going to talk about that? Do you want to?
No. But I know. No.
Okay.
But then no. You got it.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to take over your question.
I do know what you're gonna ask.
But he was the oldest brother, so I think I know he felt a responsibility to, in a way, protect and shield us younger siblings.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know, did you feel that sense of needing to, in a way, you had to grow up? I know you're on 21, but you really had to grow up immediately, not just for yourself, but for your siblings. What was that like? And yeah, I'd love to know a bit about that mindset.
It's the same thing. In 2005, my mom was murdered, like yours, and it was my father who did it. So we lost both our parents.
Yeah.
Because he ended up in jail and got the highest penalty. So I immediately felt that same responsibility. I was the oldest one. I am 6 years older than my sister, and then there's 2 years between the other three. And so yeah, I took that responsibility. But as our family came together and we talked about, okay, what do we think is the best? How this is a hopeless situation.
Yeah.
So what do we think? And we thought that I said, I can take them. They can stay at my in my apartment. I will make it work. And I said, but Alex, you have your business. You're so young. Are you sure about this? And I thought about it. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I'm not old enough, or maybe I can't take that responsibility. I'm not sure. But we ended up not doing that. But they visited me every other weekend, so that we had that strong connection, and we still to this day.
Yeah.
Family is so important.
Yeah.
And I was the last person that ever thought that my father could have done that.
Yeah.
It's just our family, with the history and with everything that we did together. It was just it tear me apart.
Alex, do you still struggle with that?
Yeah, every day. But I think also it's important to not be driven or eaten up by hate.
Yeah. Yep.
I think it's important to look forward, look to the future, and think about yourself.
Yeah.
And don't and of course this isn't easy. It's not easy for me. It's not easy for anyone. And every situation is different. But I feel like you have to move on.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe it's too much to ask to forgive someone, but rather try to accept the things as they are. You can't do anything about it. It has happened, and try to not waste your life.
Yeah.
To live your life, move forward.
Yeah.
I think, and it's easy to say. And I had magic, as we talked about, and I found that thing. So I had something that that could drive me forward. And of course, my family, my siblings. So I think that's important, that you really search deep down in yourself and in your heart, and really feel that let's not hate eat you up.
Yeah.
That's such an important mindset for you, and for you to continue. Are the person who murdered our mother, we go and do a parole hearing here in the States, is what they call it. So we usually have to go every couple of years. And I've been trying to follow my grandmother. What she's always taught all of us was to forgive. It's hard.
Yes.
It's hard.
It is.
Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't.
Yeah.
I have two questions. Have you forgiven? And if so, what advice can you give to someone like me or someone out there who struggles with forgiving completely? Because I understand forgiving is the best way for you to move on and for you to reclaim your life. I understand that. I believe that's very powerful, but sometimes it's still hard.
Yeah.
So what would you say? Have you forgiven? And if so, what can you tell someone like me who may be struggling sometimes with forgiving?
It's difficult. It really is. But when I think about my father, he has done so much for me. And so much for our family. We had an amazing upbringing, and we had the best family and the best times together. And what he did, he quit his job to help me with my career. And that's not easy. You can just forget about all those things and just you just it really, I wouldn't be in this position in my life or in my career if it wasn't for my family and for my father. He has played a very important role. But it's difficult because it's hard.
Yeah.
And people don't understand, and people never understand. But I want the best for my father. I want him to have a good life. I want him to, because he is suffering. He struggles with so many things every day, and I feel sorry for the guy, but I want the best for him. And I don't know if to forgive something like that, it's almost impossible. But you have to try to find a way making your life work, or not being stuck in that dark place.
Yeah.
And for me, with my siblings, I'm surrounded of by so much love.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. And I'm very fortunate that way, that I have my siblings. And they are great people. None of them did, everybody did good, and none of them, missed out on anything, actually. All of them has their degree, they have good jobs, and made a great life for themselves.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of them.
Yeah.
So
It's just amazing because there's a lot of similarities in certain things in general. I think I was just listening to everything you said, and I think, like TJ, for you, I know with Donald, it's hard, like the forgiving. For me, I look at it as like you can't change anything right now, and so it's almost, I feel like the past can weigh you down if you always go back to it. And once mom was murdered, and it was, I made a conscious decision that because I can't change it, I wasn't gonna punish myself because really it's revisiting the past, and so that was kind of freeing for me in that way. But it didn't mean I still didn't get to grieve like I should have. But at the same time, I think what's important for our listeners and stuff like that is guilt for some people. I'm not saying this situation, because that's another thing that people do talk about, guilt, but also trying to change the past when you can't change it in that way. And I always say, just honor the person, try and, do something that they would be proud of you to do, is, for me, always been the best remedy, which mom for us would have been music. Yeah, she was our, as I said, the main cheerleader. And I know, for you, it was probably magic, because that's what they wanted you to do, and you're doing it. Not only doing it, you're crushing it. you're in that way. And what is your proudest moment?
Oh, my proudest moment.
Yeah.
Wow. What I love to do, I love to perform. I love to be on stage. Hopefully, I get a lot of a kick out of it, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But hopefully, also the audience will have something.
They will.
But I when I do my show, I like to tell stories, and I like to do things slow, and really bring mystery back
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah,
you
good.
know?
I like that.
And have people really believe in magic. Okay, they know it's an illusion, but so but hopefully the most spectacular things that I do is not always the things that people are talking about after the show. The huge stuff with the motorcycles or the vanishes or levitations or whatever it is. Usually it's about when I get down and I sit on the stage and I tell them something personal from my life. I talk about my mom actually, and also I have a part in my show where I talk about the first moment of magic in my life, and that was not when I was 5 years old. I got the magic book.
Yeah.
That was something else. That was the first time I remember I saw snow.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. Everybody can relate to that. So so every time I say that, people react just the way you did now. Yeah. And many places around the world, they haven't even seen snow. So and that's very powerful. And I shared that story when I was home and I was with my mom sitting inside and I looked out the window and it was snowing. It was so magical.
Yeah.
That's magic. And I think people can relate to those stories. But my proudest moments, I think the things that I really love to do is to give back. And I visit local hospitals everywhere when I'm traveling.
Wonderful.
And the children wards and showing them some magic, but also teaching them some magic.
Oh, you teach
and
it.
that's really cool. I will teach you guys later.
Yeah.
A couple of cool party illusions.
Yeah.
But it's some of these kids are so sick. They can't go outside. They have to stay in a hospital. But if I teach them something, I say, okay, you have to practice, and they practice. And when their parents or siblings or some of their friends come by, they can show them what they learned.
Yeah.
And they go, how did you do that, right? So, and that's inspirational.
Yes.
And I love to do that. I think it's a way of giving hope.
Yep.
And
right.
And I also invite them to come to see the show, bring their families for those who can. And I do that all around, everywhere I go. And I think that's and it's so easy for me to do it because I'm there, and it costs so little, but it means so much. And I like you guys. I if I can do something to try to make the world a better place, this is one of those things.
I think that's super powerful, and thank you for sharing that. Tajo was just reminding me of the story when we had gotten a huge success with our music.
Yeah.
I think
I remember.
We were top 5
single,
and
I listen to you every day. Yeah.
But our uncle had called us, and did he call you directly, Taj?
All I remember is we were in the UK, and they said that our uncle was on the line. It was a landline, so it wasn't like we didn't have cell phones back then. And we got all excited because we had just hit the top of the charts, so we thought he was calling to congratulate us.
Yeah,
because he was someone that always believed in us as well, and he was really calling to reprimand us because we hadn't been to any hospitals. In that way, and so, but he was right. We grew up watching him and going to these hospitals with him. But you get so busy, and we were so focused on trying to hit number one that you forget what's really important is giving back in that way. And I'll never forget. He said, "That's your platform. That's why we do this. We do this so that you can do that in that way." And he was right, and we knew it once he said it. And we were like, "Oh, but we're so busy, we can't." And he's like, "No, you have to make time for that."
Like, that's for sure. For sure,
you got to make time. I make. And he said every city he goes to, he visits, and he did. And so that's amazing that you do that as well. With just giving back is so powerful, and we need more people like you to do that because that's the reward, in that. But you got to lead by example, and you are. So
thank you.
Yes.
Someone asked me at the party earlier today, who's your greatest inspiration? And I said, I think one of the greatest inspirations is Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, all the stuff that he did. I mean, it's just from charity
Yeah.
to be the greatest entertainer of all time. I mean, and he did it all by himself. And it's just so inspirational.
Yeah.
And
I think about it every day. You know, obviously he's our uncle first, and I miss my uncle.
of course.
But I get more and more amazed as I get older of how beautiful of a person he was, and how big his heart was, and how much he really was dedicated to making the world a better place.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't just a song lyric.
No,
that was him. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
And when I visit here and I see, I'm so proud to see what you, the Jackson family, are doing to honor his memory.
Yeah.
And what Prince does with his
Still proud of
organization
him as well,
in Los Angeles. It's just amazing. And you
So
guys,
proud.
I'm speechless. It's
Thank you, Alex.
I think it's so great.
Yeah, it took us time to get to the foundation. You know, we're in our 40s now, but I think about Prince all the time, being, you know, in his early 20s, starting it and committed. I couldn't be any more proud of him.
Yeah.
I have to ask you, what does Alex do on his free time? What do you like to do? Is there a book, your movies? What do you like to do? What does
Sure, both actually. And I like to travel. I love to travel. Of course, I travel a lot in my work, but I really like magic. So when I have extra time, I practice new magic.
Oh wow!
Imagine that. Yeah, I'm so hooked at it because you know, when it's hectic, when it's stressful, and you're touring, you know all about this. There's not enough time for everything. There's so much that you was supposed to do, or especially for me, this is my hobby. This is something I'm really passionate about, and I get to do it on stage every night, of course. But to incorporate new stuff and to work on new stuff. So that's actually what I do.
Would you say magic? Well,
in a way, that little kid never changed.
Yeah.
That little kid is still the little kid in his room, you know, doing magic. Except for I'm not, you know, I have my own apartment now.
Kid at heart,
What fascinates me is because when I started doing music, I really didn't experience a loss. So for me, doing music was just the pure joy of it. Today, music is very therapeutic for me. I still obviously enjoy doing it, but it's also therapeutic. Would you agree with that? Would you say the same thing for you? You started off magic because of the wonder and the enjoyment, and also today, it also serves a therapeutic purpose for you?
Yeah, sure.
You would?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever do therapy?
Yes, I did. After what happened with our family, I did for almost a year. And I thought, when they asked, I thought, no, I don't need that. Then again, I thought, maybe it can't hurt, right? It's better to try it. And after, I have to say, and I was there for almost 12 months. So I think I liked it. And I got to talk with somebody that wasn't my family, wasn't my friends. It was a safe, anonymous ground that I could just speak out, you know?
We never did therapy because for us, I think the primary reason, he may know more, but we were so concerned with being open because of our last name, and what would that therapist, would he sell the story, would he make it so we never did it. And you know, now this was in 94, but now in 2022 or in the 2020s, it's more accepted, it's more present, it's more important. And that's why I wanted to ask you your stance on it. Is it something you believe in and would encourage everyone to do?
Yes, I would recommend it. And just to have somebody you can just say whatever to. So whatever bothers you. And for me, the last times I was there, it was almost like just a social call. So I just liked it so much, and it gave me something. Yeah.
Cool.
So even today, sometimes from now and then, I'm visiting.
Is there anything you do on your own instead of sitting and talking with someone? Is there anything you do that is your therapy besides magic? Like, is it walking along the beach? Is it skiing? Is it that you're like, oh, this is my time to just. Is there anything like that for you?
Just being home, lying on my couch, I think.
Okay, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
My apartment is a place that I visit from time to time. So I'm almost like a stranger in my own apartment. So I like to be there actually, and I never showed it to anyone. Even not even every member of my family has ever been to my apartment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and the media back home in Scandinavia, they ask me, oh, can we take pictures? Can we? I don't know, no.
That's my place.
Yes, it's my place. I think that's very important to have something that's just you, just mine.
Yeah.
It's my cave. I can just relax, be myself, or yeah.
Was there a fun? Because I'm.
I was about to cough a lot of the time, so that's why I'm like proud of myself for not coughing.
So anything that you had, Taj?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
In terms of I know we talked a little bit. Did you have like a magician or illusionist hero that you looked up to as a kid or were there a couple of them that you were like this? I want to be this person, or I want to be better or bigger than this person.
Yeah, sure.
Who were those people for you?
Well, of course, Harry Houdini. An interesting fun fact, since we're close to Halloween.
Yeah.
He died on Halloween.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In 1926.
Wow.
He died on Halloween, so that's a cool thing for the legend.
Yeah.
But when I was growing up in Norway, there was a clown doing magic in one of a water park in Norway. It was called Melvin Tix. Yeah, and I was there every summer with my family, and I saw his shows, and that was really a great inspiration for me.
Wow!
So that was, and I think I was 8 years old.
Okay.
And I somehow I got his phone number.
Wow!
So I took up the phone and I called him, and I say, hey, yes, this is Alexander calling. I saw your performance, and can you help me? I want to be like you. Can you help me? And I said, sure, yeah, bring your parents and come down. And I did. He lived actually in the next city to mine. So we came down to visit him. And he was the guy that told me, Alex, it's important to be original. You have to be unique. You have to find your own style. Because I said, I want to be like you. Yeah. But you have to find your character, your artist, something that's you and something that's totally unique. Everybody can copy, but to be something special, be that special person. So starting with my name, Alexx Alexxander, with 4 X's. Yes, that was his idea.
Oh, I love
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That reminds me of my uncle because we used to be called the 3 T's.
Yes.
And that's what our mom used to refer to us as the 3 T's. And he said, just go with 3 T.
Yeah.
It's more effective, more powerful. So it's more unique.
Yeah.
So
and you have to have it needs to be simple, and people have to remember it.
Yes.
Alexx Alexander is not very simple when you read it, but you will never forget it.
That's right.
I'm the only one in the world that has 4 X's in my name, right?
That's great. That's great.
So yeah, so I learned so much from Melvin Tix with an X. That's why, of course, all the X's.
That's
He
so
also
cool.
wrote it with an X, and so it was a great inspiration for me.
Nice.
And magic has taken me all around the world. I mean, experiences. It's amazing stuff, and after my mom died. I'm not scared of death.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
If I die tomorrow, it is fine.
Yeah.
But what I'm afraid of is not living.
Yeah.
Because I love living. I love life and whatever life brings next.
Yes.
I love to travel. I love to meet you guys today. And suddenly I'm traveling another city, another country, and I just experiencing eating great food, waking up in the morning, have a good cup of coffee.
Yeah.
The simple stuff. It's not about the big stuff. The big stuff, yeah, wow, cool. But it's this small stuff that counts, that matters. And I'm still, as I just said, I'm still that little kid, getting excited about the small things, doing magic and giving back. And I think it's been to share my story. I think it's more inspirational than if I didn't. And that's why I do it. It's a little bit hard every time. I struggle with it. And it's not easy for me. And you are one of the few guys that really, I really talk about this in details, like we've done today. But hopefully, and I've seen your podcasts, and I see the response from people, and if I also can contribute to make a difference, and to maybe somebody can relate to my story, or maybe I can give them hope or inspire them in some way, then it's all worth it.
So true.
You said some very powerful stuff, not just with that answer, but all evening. You said some very powerful stuff. I can so relate with I'm not afraid of death. But I enjoy living. That's a very powerful, and I can really relate to that. It's time for us to close. We've been over an hour, Alex, which is a good thing. It's been so informative and such a genuine conversation. We first want to thank you for being you, and for opening up and inspiring the community, and just talking. Really, thank you. Before we go, though, we always end our show giving our guests. And I should have prepared you.
Yeah, I was
so
gonna say, you should,
I
apologize. We warned them.
I apologize to everyone. I think you're the very first guest that I didn't prepare and warn.
It's nothing bad.
It's nothing bad.
Okay.
I know, because I would always.
It's fine.
But what we like to do when we close is give our guests up to a minute to talk about anything you want to talk about. It could be your favorite TV show, a favorite book, your favorite music, a favorite thought, a theme, your favorite quote.
Doesn't even have to be your favorite anything. Just anything you want to leave the audience with.
Thank you, Josh. Anything you want to leave our audience with, that we touched on or that we didn't touch on? What's the final word you, Alexx Alexxander, want to give to our community?
Well, I think I will say, try to be the best version you can of yourself, and try to give back if you can. And sometimes just a smile is more than enough. It's not about the big stuff. It's just a smile can make somebody's day. I just think, give somebody a smile, give back, whatever, small stuff, big stuff, doesn't matter. Just try to just do something that is nice for someone else.
Beautiful.
It's simple, but not enough people do it.
No, and that's why it's important. That's why
a smile is free. It really is. It's simple, but
and you always smile back. If somebody smiles, you smile back automatically.
You can make
right?
someone's day with a smile.
Yes. So that's why I think it's important, and I think we all should do that. Just give smiles, and just think twice about stuff we do. If it is a good choice, bad choice, am I doing something for the environment, for the community, for others?
Great.
Well, Alex, you're an amazing person, man. And from everything you went through, I can't begin to express how impressed I am from you. And I know my brother Taj would feel the same way. Your mindset's powerful, and I just want to commend you for being you. You're special, and continue to do what you do. Continue to change the world. Really,
we will do it together. All of us out there.
Taj, anything else you want to say?
No, I think thank you for coming on, and I think the thing that I'm most impressed with all the accolades and stuff that you have, just the person that you are is the most impressive in that way. It really is, because I cheated and looked at it every day. It's like a laundry list of stuff that he's done or won in that way. But really, just sitting down and knowing you and hanging out with you for these last days, that's most impressive to me. And I want you to know that. And we need more people like you, Alex.
All right. I think that's it. For everyone watching and listening, thank you all so much. Alexx Alexxander, our guest, thank you so much for being here on the Power of Love show. Anything
Thanks for
else?
having me.
Yeah, you're welcome back anytime too. You are family. We truly care so much about you, and you have our support. So we're just proud to have you.
Yeah.
So, anything else, Taj?
No, this has been a great episode. It's
All
our
right.
first
Non-live,
yeah.
pre-recorded.
Pre-recorded. Over an hour.
Yeah, over an hour. All right, you guys. So that's it. Thank you again for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, adios.